Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Chevrolet Traverse. This is an RS all-wheel drive. It's finished off in radiant red. MSRP is just over $61,000. This particular model only has one option, and that is the panoramic sunroof up top. Now, as we move on to what this is powered by, this has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo. It is paired to an 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. Weighs in around 4,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. And as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking at 20 in the city and 24 out on the highway. Now, for this RS model, you'll notice a lot of gloss black up front. There's also a forward camera, plenty of cutouts in this grille with the red RS logo. There's also parking sensors and a sensor for the distance pacing and Super Cruise. You'll notice too, there's a split design for the DRLs and turn signals, and then headlights and high beams with more of the gloss black trim accents surrounding both of those housings. And there's some nice lines that come down the hood to finish it off. You'll notice there's more gloss black for the 20-inch wheels along with the fender flares. It's on the lower side skirt, it's on the Traverse badge, it's also on the power folding side mirrors where there's a camera and a turn signal. You'll see it on the window trim, the roof racks, and then there's that full moonroof up top. There's also some very nice lines that flow down the side. This is a 3-row SUV. So while it doesn't look that large from the outside, you definitely have plenty of space inside, and all the proportions are really nice with this neat design for that cargo window. Now, there's also a two-tone design for the spoiler. There's a third brake light along with the wiper blade. LEDs for all of the lighting. There's a backup camera, all of the parking sensors. This can even tow around 5,000 pounds. So that cover is currently installed right now, but you remove that and you can hook up a trailer. And there's also the quad tip dual exhaust with the square design. Now, if you lock it and double tap this button, you can start it up, and then you actually hold on it to shut the vehicle off. Now, you can use the control on the key fob or the one underneath where this has a power lift gate. Now, I currently have the third row up, so this is a surprising amount of space behind the third row for this smaller vehicle. You also have additional storage underneath the floor, and you can keep this up and put in some larger items if needed. There's also some tie-down hooks. You have an area to place the cover where the third row would have to be folded down to use, and then you have controls for the seats. Now, for the second row, you can fold them flat from here. They are manual, however, to put back up. The third row is automatic up and down. The only downside is you have to hold this button in order to do it, and it looks like I have that second row not far enough forward. But you can get an idea for with the seats down how much space you have. You just have to have that seat moved up accordingly. And then you have one control up top where you can close the lift gate. Now, you also have proximity door handles, so just push on that control to lock and unlock all 4 doors. Now, for the interior on this RS, there's the red trim, Bose for the audio, and some storage in the lower section. And then with the captain's chairs, that bar is up front to slide these seats forward, so that would give it a little bit more room for the headrest to clear and fold in the back. But from here, you can easily lift the seat up and then recline and incline and adjust it from there. Now, in order to hop into the third row, there's 2 controls. They both have the same feature. So you can push this one here, or if you're in the third row, there's one on the backrest, and that will do the same function to get that seat out of the way. Now, you can have 3 people back here. This is going to be for kids mainly. I'm 5'10". I have about 1.5 inches or so of headroom, so it's really not all that bad. You have storage, auxiliaries too. If you move the seat forwards, that would give you a lot more space, of course. So as you can tell, really not all that bad. My knees are pretty high compared to the seat though, but I could ride around town if I needed to. So it's nice that they are functional for full-size adults if and when you needed them. And then you can easily lock these back into place. Now, there's also adjustable armrests. These are heated captain's chairs too. You have cup holders, fan speed, temperature, auxiliaries, and storage. There's also storage pockets too, and then a good bit of headroom. And of course, I can recline these to get a little bit more comfortable. And as we work our way up front, the door panel is just like in back. However, there's this red trim accent, which is neat. There's also memory seating adjustments, window controls, side mirror adjustments, liftgate release, and more storage. And then up front, RS is in the headrest. The rest of the seat is the same design. Now, like I mentioned, this has Super Cruise, so that is an illumination in the upper trim piece there, where this does have hands-free lane changes, so you can activate that using the turn signal stalk. This is something that has to be used out on the highway, so you can't use this around town. Now on the left side, there's all the cruise control settings with a low range. There's also the Super Cruise, distance pacing. There's voice commands, heated steering wheel, shortcuts to your music, and you can go through the digital gauge cluster. Now each of these settings are not configurable, so you just push on one button and you can pull up all of these depending on what you would like to see while you're driving. So it's great to have. There's also paddle shifters and then volume and tuning. This is the stock for your gear selector. So when you put it into reverse, you have the camera system, of course, and then you can go through the different angles, and you can even get into the forward angle while the vehicle is still in reverse. You have drive and then park on the end of the stock. To the left, there's the e-brake. There are different driving modes. So you have normal, sport, off-road, snow and ice, and then tow and haul. The button next to that is for all-wheel drive. So the vehicle is currently in all-wheel drive, or you can default to two-wheel drive, which would be front-wheel drive. There's also engine start-stop, a dimmer switch for the gauges, more of the red trim with an air vent. And then with the rest of the infotainment system, this is the home screen. So all the icons you can go through, like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have ambient lighting, you can get into parallel parking, and you have shortcuts to all of these controls here. So it's pretty easy to go through. You have lane keeping assist on this left side along with headlights, so those are going to be fixed. There's also volume for the audio, and then more fixed controls down below. Heated and ventilated seats, fan speed in the middle here, and then you have a few defrosters and temperature adjustments. You also have physical temperature dials down below, and fan speed on and off, and defrosters. There's wireless charging with auxiliaries. You have cup holders, storage, more storage down below. There's even more storage in the armrest, of course, in the glove box. And then up top, you have a digital rear view mirror. So if you have this packed full of people, this will give you a lot more views, and you have different adjustments here that you can go through, zoom in, zoom out, put it up and down. You have dome lights and controls for the sunroof and sunshade, sunglass holder just behind that. And then here's a look at visibility. It's a lengthy vehicle, but it's still pretty easy to see all around. It's not a jumbo 3-row SUV, so that makes it a lot more convenient. So still in sport mode, just the normal setting. Here we go. And while I wouldn't say it's incredibly quick for this type of vehicle, it definitely has the power that you need to merge onto the highway, to pass, and just be able to get up and move. So this car can get out of its own way. And I think that is a key factor in non-performance oriented vehicles. If you can get up and move safely, I think that qualifies as a good bit of power. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Traverse. And as you can tell, hopefully, it handles well for these turns like I mentioned. And it's not that big of a vehicle, so especially on a narrow road like this, it's going to be very easy to keep in the lines, super easy to see all around, and just for its sizing overall. If you need a third row, but you're intimidated maybe by the larger 3-row SUVs, this is really no different than a Blazer or some other Chevrolet SUV. So if you're, or Trailblazer even. So if you're looking for that smaller vehicle, you still want to sit higher up and have the practicalities, great option to go with. These seats are also pretty comfortable too. They have some good support for them to take some turns like that. Really nice, comfortable seating position, and a vehicle that is made for daily driving. I am super impressed with the range as well. It started just over 500 miles for a full tank. I have been driving it a little bit, so that has been depleted, of course. So if you want something that is going to be pretty fuel efficient, and you can go a very long way without having to fill up often, also another bonus for this latest Traverse. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 RS all-wheel drive. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.